What's going on, YouTube? Levi of Old Iron Off-Road. Behind us is a 1980 SCOUT II RestoMOD that we've been working on for quite some time, and we are about to wrap this guy up. We've got to put some stripes on it. We're going to dig in, give you a full overview, and take you on a test ride. Make sure you stick around. All right, man, we got this guy back from final polish yesterday, and it is looking really good. The paint came out really well on this thing. So, like I said, today we're gonna put some stripes on it. Before we dig into like a full overview and all that good stuff, we're gonna lay these stripes out. Now, striping one of these guys, it's not hard, but it is something that you need to have a little bit of patience, and the big thing is they have got to be straight. You're putting these stripes on in basically 3 panels, and if any one of them aren't straight on its panel or straight in line with the next one, it really tells on you. It's really noticeable. So you gotta get them straight. What we used to do in the past is we would put a reference mark on the marker in the front and in the back. We would actually chalk a line on the vehicle. Chalking a line on the truck is tough to get the chalk off. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it was a surefire way to make sure you had a good straight reference angle all the way down the truck. With the availability of cheap at-home lasers nowadays though, that's what we use, and that is the go-to. So the first thing we're gonna do is on our stripe, we're gonna figure how wide our stripe is. Our stripe is 5 inches. And on the stripe that we're using, dead center of the marker light was dead center of the stripe. So we're gonna take and try not to smack the paint with the measuring tape, and we're gonna pop on the truck. 1/2 of 5 is 2.5. So we're gonna put a chalk mark at 2.5 there. And the same thing on the back. So, with those 2 reference points, we know we can put a line across those 2 dots, and the rest of the panel should be straight. And we really don't care what happens in between here. We just want this panel straight, there and there. That's the most important part. So, let's get the lights turned off and fire up our laser, and we can start laying this stripe out. We've got our stripe laid out, and you can see, hopefully you can see there, you can see right here how that white chalk pen reflects off of the laser. You can see I've got another reference mark there, and that just serves as a guide for myself, a visual guide, because when I turn the lights on, you're really not going to be able to see the laser. The most important thing I can tell you on this is just give yourself good reference marks so you know you're getting that panel on there straight. So a big thing with vinyl, in my opinion, I'm an amateur, so take everything that I'm telling you with a grain of salt. I put several stripes on. We've done the big panel stripes, we've done Midas SS stripes, we've done the CVI stripes, OE stripes. We've done a bunch of different stripes. The biggest thing I can tell you is don't pull on the vinyl when you're putting it on, because if you pull on it or try to stretch it, it's going to curve and do weird stuff. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a rough idea. So basically, the night before, you want to lay all your stripes out flat so that they can relax. When you get them, they're going to be in a box. They're going to be rolled up. You want them to lay out straight. You don't want any waves, wrinkles. If they're rolled or coiled, they're going to be hard to put on. But what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these stripes along the top edge, and we're going to align it to our marks, and we're going to basically use the tape as a hinge that we can kind of lift up and access the mask on the back. Let's do it. One panel down and about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to go. We're gonna put you guys in time lapse. We're gonna get this guy stropped out. Well, that one is on. And we got it pretty straight. I mean, this is what it is. This door, for whatever reason, I mean, it lines up and shuts good, but you can see it kind of protrudes from the body about the width of the panel. I may try to adjust it some more, but there's a very fine line with this door between it shutting good and not shutting good, so we might be able to pull another 1/16 out of that, but that's about it. But yeah, it turned out really good. Got it nice and straight. No real issues on that one. And realistically, I have probably an hour and a half in putting that stripe on and really taking my time and making sure it's straight. I don't know if you noticed in the time lapse on this front panel, we pretty much had to peel it completely off. So don't get super frustrated or carried away. Just take your time. And the first one is gonna suck. After that, it's not too bad. So you guys have seen me do this side. There's no sense in watching me do the other side. I'm gonna get the other side striped, and then we're gonna come back, throw the marker lights on it, put the lock cylinders in it, and at that point, I believe we'll be ready for some show and tell and take you on a test drive. So you know, transparency is pretty important, I think, in these videos. I don't want you at home to think that, you know, I'm any better at doing anything than you are. And I also wanted everybody to know that things do happen. Super happy with the way this had turned out, except for when I went to put my marker light on there, I realized I was over 1/2 inch off having my stripe forward enough, and the marker light was actually covering the very front edge of the stripe, and it looked stupid. And on this truck, it just wasn't going to fly. So we peeled that dude off. Be careful pulling vinyl off. This is fresh paint, and you know, I know who prepped it, but if you don't really know who did your paint, most of the time vinyl will come off. Sometimes it will take paint with it. And on the other side, got a little big for my britches. Yep. I screwed up the back panel. I decided I wasn't going to hinge tape it. Spritzed it down, laid it up there on my mark and on my laser, and went to smooth it about halfway back. Started working a wrinkle out this way, and in the pinstripe on the top, I actually kicked a little bow in it. So that had to come off. But luckily, I know the guy and gal that make the stripes for these vehicles. I put in a call to rescue me, keep me from jumping off a cliff, and they're actually sending me a couple of new stripes out. So it does happen. It is what it is. But we're going to go ahead and get the marker lights and the door lock cylinders in where we can, and we'll just wait on those other pieces. All right, it's a new day, and we have drug this guy out of the shop. You can see, I think I showed you already, but just in case, we've got the stripes all on this thing after a few minor incidences. Like I said, the pinstripe on these make them somewhat difficult to make them perfect. And if they don't line up, I'm not sending it, especially on this truck. Man, look at that thing. Truck came out super nice. Really proud to have my name on this one. It's been a long build. I think I'll take a second here to mention on these builds, I'm a one-man show. Now, I do have a really good guy that does paint and metal work for me. And obviously we had some help with the interior, but these trucks are built by these. We're not a big production shop. We don't have multiple builds going out. We don't have a ton of builds. Well, we've got a ton of work, but we don't have a ton of these. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is we don't mass produce these. These are built lovingly and carefully with my hands alone. You know, when it comes to these trucks, like, I just really don't trust anybody else's best. So it's a labor of love for sure. But again, I'm super happy with this truck. Pulled it out, washed it off, and it's actually going to ceramic coat today. So we're going to take you along for a test drive with us. Want to go? Let's go. Picked it up from the ceramic coaters, and I wanted to add that the ceramic coating on this thing totally changed the look of this truck. I always try to get customers to spend the extra money on going ahead and getting the paint protected. It just really flattens out any imperfections and makes the paint look super deep. So stoked on that. We'll get this thing dialed in, and we'll do a solid walk around, and we'll talk about it. Always a thrash, always a thrash. Customer wants to pick the truck up tomorrow. Out putting test miles on it. I usually don't send these home until they've got at least 300 miles on them. We've got 80 miles on it. Truck's running good. We had a check engine light pop up for Rich on both banks, and I'm hoping that the tuner actually got the injector data wrong on this thing. So I'm headed up to my buddy's shop and gonna let him throw the throw the old HP tuners on here and just double check the injector data and make sure that's not what the issue is. Other than that, the truck seems really super happy. I don't know why within the last 10 miles it decided to pop rich, but it does take sometimes up to 3 key cycles for a code to pop up, so maybe that's the issue. Truck has plenty of power though, so we'll keep you updated. Trying to get this thing ready to go to nationals, and man, like I said, it's always a crash right before they go home. All right, so we're back on the road. I actually played with the injector data, and even though, so these are replacement injectors, they're new standard motor product injectors, and if you can believe, their flow rate wasn't what they were supposed to be. So these were actually flowing more like 33 pound/hour injectors. So we played with the injector data and got the fuel trim, short-term and long-term fuel trim dialed in, so it's not making a huge correction. The ECU was correcting for what it was seeing, but anytime it sees more than a 25% correction, it'll actually throw a code. So got that dialed in and put some more miles on it. We've actually got 118 miles on this thing now, and I feel a little bit better about it now. You know, the truck runs fine, but I still, just for my own peace of mind, like to put as many miles on these trucks as I can before I send them home, especially on a complete rebuild. I mean, stuff loosens up, stuff leaks, and the last thing you want to hear as a builder is 2 hours after you've sent a truck home, your phone rings and you've got an issue, which it does happen. We take care of it, but I don't like it. So I'm actually headed back towards the house, and we're going to get this thing put up. Customer is coming, like I said, tomorrow to pick it up, and we are taking this thing to the build off in Troy, Ohio, and I think we will probably just include a walk around then, and we'll clip that into the video. We'll catch up with you in a couple of days, but for you it'll be like, you know, now. So this was our build off entry, 1980 Scout II. Scout Co. LLC was kind enough to do the storyboard for us. This is a GM Ocean Blue. Jason Peregrine is the owner. Made really good choices throughout the build. And originally we were going to do a GM Ocean Blue, and we were going to do a metallic gunmetal stripe and a metallic gunmetal top. And he was wanting to do some more modern wheels, but somewhere in the mix it actually got shifted around to where we were going to do more of a classic retake on what a modernized 1980 Scout would look like, but still keep it tastefully done and tastefully classic. We've got the mag wheels. These are actually a 17-inch mag wheel, so it's kind of a cool throwback. You've got a 17-inch in a modern size with some metric tires, and you know, the BFG's on there. The paint is awesome. We've actually found a couple of imperfections in the paint throughout the show, wiping it down. We're gonna get it back in and get it fixed. But this thing came out amazing. I'm super proud of this build. We've got 4 years invested in this thing. We worked with some really good people during this build. Obviously my paint and metal guy. The interior, Jason has actually owned this truck since 1996. This was him working on the truck originally. And here we are the day he picked it up. Original glove box material, line set ticket, and some original documentation from when he bought it. Old Madison Outback Scout stuff. Pretty cool. But yeah, overall really killer build. 5.3 LM7 truck engine, 4L60 Dana 300. As always, Tom Woods drive shafts. Chassis and suspension all done in-house. You know, spring under, nothing crazy. Truck rides and drives really, really well down the road. Speed hut gauges, and we threw our own little custom touch. We've got the old Iron Offroad logo in there. Vinyl wrapped. Actually had my friend, the guy you actually used to work for me, you may remember him some of the previous videos, Austin Woody, actually came. He's doing tint and window tint and front glass install now, and he's wrapping vehicles. So he came out and wrapped this dash panel for me. Yeah, just a lot of little factory fresh touches, but modern enough that, you know, it could have been what a GM powered version of 1980 Scout would have looked like. Well, I guess technically that is what this is. We still got to put a trash can lid on the engine cover. That's what I call the covers. I think we're actually going to do a LQ9 Cadillac cover on that. It's going to look really good. Light branding throughout. Got the old Iron Offroad logo into the battery hold down, and somebody has put a duck on my truck. Well, obviously we are back home. We've still got plenty of projects left to go, but now is the time to close this video out. If you want to see how well we did at Nationals with the Blue Scout and with Bowser, well, you're just going to have to wait around until the next video. Make sure you're subscribed. We appreciate each of you at home for taking the time to watch these videos. Make sure to click the like button, leave us a comment, and as always, enjoy.